We got nothing.
No, seriously. What the hell do we even say about this?
It happened. I laughed a couple of times, and... Really? This is how we officially end Equestria Girls? With an anthology special filled with nothing but shorts that are not related to equestrian magic? I mean, wow, do I feel ripped off!
You're not alone, man. I feel just as gypped as you. I mean, after Friendship is Magic ended on such a high note, trying to answer as many looming questions and tying up as many loose ends as possible, the spin-off series just straight up fizzled out on its last hurrah. Granted, it had a rocky start with the first movie, but it picked itself up extremely well with Rainbow Rocks. And after setting up such a standard by itself like that, I'm sorry, they did not stick their final landing here. Is it wrong I feel bad for them they went out like this?
No. Believe me, I also feel really bad about it too. Okay, maybe we can go through each of the shorts in order and see which ones entertained us at least a little bit. So, Holidays Unwrapped contains 6 shorts which, I'll admit, have some pretty entertaining titles, unless you're Ellie or Commander Firebrand and have a low pun tolerance.
Or unless you're Brawny Buck or Silverquill and are praising the heavenly gods above for more fuel.
Either way, let's start with what I consider the weakest of the 6, Blizzard or Bust. So in this short, it's high school midterm season, and even after pulling an all-nighter, none of the girls are prepared. After one look out the window, Rainbow Dash convinces the other 6 to fabricate a snow day to cancel school. For the record, codename Kids Next Door did this better in Operation Arctic. Anyway, there are plenty of things that left us stupefied. One of those complaints is the short is about 50% montage. Now, I'm all for montages. When properly used, they show an extended passage of time shortened to a couple of minutes. It sort of hurts this short when, 1, the passage of time is only over a half hour, 2, the montage is longer than it should be, and 3, the length of the short is not long enough to have one.
Yeah, I'm all for montages too, but this one I felt had some serious pacing issues and kept on dragging too much. I mean, I suppose it would be a little better if maybe they just turned it into a music video, but then again, I suppose they didn't want to have another "This Is Our Big Night" where they add a song to an overall mundane task. But at least the one line that leads up to the montage was kind of funny.
Oh, can't believe I almost left her a montage!
Unfortunately, that's really the only bright spot we found so far. Because to make it worse, it turns out that their efforts were all for naught, because even after all their hard work, they're still exposed by Professor Cranky Doodle and are given detention. So yeah, in the grand scheme of this one single short, absolutely nothing happened. Yeah, not that great of a first impression special.
Well, there is one other thing that bothered me. Since when did water have consciousness?
It remembers.
Okay, how and why? Is everything in the Equestria Girls universe alive? Because if it is, I now feel guilty every time someone takes a sip of water or swims in a lake. Is this what Marville was worried about? Is this what Bill Jemis was talking about when we said we should feel bad that molecules have to die? Seriously, Equestria Girls, don't give Marville a leg to stand on with its half-assed philosophy about how the universe works.
You know, if that really is the case, this will probably be the only bad thing I will ever blame Sunset Shimmer for. Bringing unexplainable magic into a world where everyone is inherently okay with it. And of a previous short, The Science of Magic is any indication, even she has no idea how any of this works. But moving on to short number 2, which is titled, Saving Pinkie's Pie?
Oh my.
Stop! They mean a souffle, you filthy pervs! It is in no way what you think it is!
Oh, that's bogus.
Anyway, it's a race against the clock, as Pinkie tries to deliver a fresh hot souffle to Rarity as part of their holiday tradition before it deflates. Too bad there's an impromptu snowball fight happening right on her front lawn. Okay, you know how there's this trope where some people have a tendency to take snowball fights way too seriously to where they think it's a legit war? Yep, might as well throw this on the pile too.
Honestly, this is my favorite of the 6 shorts because it is so over the top in trying to take a snowball fight seriously. Not to mention, this was brutal in how they portrayed the snowball impacts. Just take the scene with Sunset taking one for Pinkie Pie, but imagine it being a lot more R-rated.
Pinkie, run!
In addition, it's the only short where I was actually engaged in the conflict. That being, Pinkie Pie's plight to prevent a pummeling of her pastry. I love alliteration too.
Yeah, this was probably the better out of the 6 shorts, as it did have the most laughs and it was the most engaging. Plus, I do enjoy all the little hints and winks that the characters do, letting them know that they're all in on the fun. With Fluttershy and Trixie trying to keep calm, the Apple family tossing apple juice snow grenade hybrids, and even Bulk Biceps being a conscientious objector after throwing a cheap shot at Sunset. Kinda reminds me of the beginning of the episode Doom with a View from My Life as a Teenage Robot, where Brad and Tuck bring Jenny in on their snow fort shenanigans and they all share a laugh before the cluster ambassador shows up.
Yeah, that's fair. However, there was one moment I had to turn my head. In an effort to pull off a sneak attack, Rainbow Dash was apparently hiding in a snowman for 2 days! Okay, either Rainbow's blood is actually antifreeze, or that scene should have played out a lot darker.
Alright, kiddo. I think that's enough playing outside. Time to come on in. Need a little help there? Okay.
Okay, let's move away from the darker implications these specials somehow bring up, and let's move on to a short with a lighter tone. Or rather, a confusing tone. In the Cider Louse Fools, AJ explains to Sidetwi that, each year, the Apple family is swindled by the Flim Flam brothers. So AJ asks Twilight to help out-swindle the Flim Flam brothers so the celebration can continue without a hitch.
Question. If they ruin the Apple family's festival every year, why does the Apple family continue to let it happen? I mean, Flim and Flam not only tried to steal the family cider, but in previous years they took their ladders, sabotaged their baskets, and gave them a worm infestation. If the Flim Flam brothers have always been a nuisance for this long, why have the Apples never called the police at any point and pressed charges against them for things like theft and defacement? Oh God, is their celebration cider contaminated with Rainbow Falls water that makes everyone stupid?
God, I hope not. So, I'm not sure if this was fully explored or not previously, but Sidetwi must operate on Sherlock levels of wisdom and intellect to come up with a triple deception plan to out-swindle the swindlers. How she could have known the Flim Flam brothers wouldn't fall for the pepper water switch to really be swapping the real cider just makes my head hurt.
They must have known about the switcheroo and double reverse switcherooed us right back.
Unless I knew they'd double back and take the real cider using a series of tunnels I dug, knowing they'd find them and use them, ensuring that when they emerged right outside the front door...
Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
So I guess what we can conclude from this experience is the following. Sidetwi is on the same level of intelligence as Jimmy Neutron, but almost double his age. The Apple family are morons for continuously allowing the Flim Flam brothers on their property for all these years. And Flim and Flam themselves don't even notice the obvious cardboard cutouts of the other party guests, even though they claim to be, quote-unquote, master swindlers. Yeah, this short was just stupid. Next. In short number 4, we have Winter Break-In. Okay, is it wrong I want to hear that as its own parody song now? Winter break-in, let's pull off a holiday heist. Anyway, the Humane 7 head to Sunset Storage Unit to collect bags of toys to give to their own version of Toys for Tots. But amongst their excitement, they accidentally left Sunset's storage key in her locker, and the school grounds are closed for winter break. Thus begins the Equestria Girls version of Sparkle 7.
Except with half the budget, 1/3 the time frame, and 1/4 the imagination. Each of these ideas would be fun to watch if they were actually implemented, especially AJ just lifting the school up with her Everfree powers like the Incredible Hulk, but it just ends in an obvious anticlimax, calling Celestia to unlock the school to get the key. So an easy solution was actually implemented to the conflict. I guess I can give some credit that they went with the path of least resistance, but again, short running time and not that interesting of a conflict leads to another dull downvote. On to the next one! Dashing through the mall as Rainbow Dash looking for a last-minute holiday gift. Okay, I'm not going to sing the rest of that. A last-minute holiday gift for Fluttershy as part of a Secret Santa gift exchange among the 7. Rainbow's only hope for finding a gift for Fluttershy is... Zephyr Breeze. Okay, to be fair, Zephyr doesn't come across as much of a creep in this one compared to his equestrian counterpart. Plus, he does show at least a little bit of care for his older sister and what she truly would like for the holidays, even if he already got the gift for her ahead of Rainbow.
Yeah, I will give it this. Zephyr's mannerisms were a bit more downplayed this time around. But the cringe comedy between the two is still as effective as ever. Especially with this moment here.
No, you gotta be nice, but only because you love Fluttershy.
Fluttershy? Follow me, milady.
That gave me the hardest laugh. Equestria Girls has made some pretty out-there modern-day references before, especially in the digital series and certain shorts leading up to their specials. But this one just takes the cake. Also, this short I enjoyed a little more in terms of atmosphere, as it is interesting to see their takes on certain products that you would find in stores like Brookstone or Sharper Image, such as mini basketball hoops, VR headsets, even Crocs and selfie sticks. Of course, it does come with the drawback of making these shorts incredibly dated as a result, but for me at least, it's not as bothersome, because the dated references aren't the focus of the story. Unlike certain other pieces of media that make their entire premise on dated references. The Emoji Movie! Anyway, our last short in this special is... Oh Come All Ye Squashful, where the Humane 7 risk publicly embarrassing themselves for a holiday photo. Again, really? This is how Equestria Girls is choosing to end? No answers to lingering questions like, will Sunset Shimmer ever go back home to Equestria? Does she have any motive to share her experiences with Celestia? Or was there ever an original Sunset before Pony Sunset took over in the first movie? No more outbreaks of equestrian magic? No grand finale to wrap up the overarching story, if you can even call it that?
Nope.
I guess we're stuck with more questions than answers after this flop of a special. Heck, I wouldn't even call it that great of a holiday special in and of itself. At least with the best gift ever, despite how ludicrous and kinda stupid some of the individual stories were, it still came through with the over-the-top humor and displayed at least a little bit of heart with Spike's ending song. Here, it's just an anthology of shorts that honestly would have fit better if they were each released individually on the MLP YouTube channel. So, even though Saving Pinkie's Pie and Dashing Through the Mall were fun shorts in their own right, as a whole, Holidays Unwrapped gets 2 hooves down from the both of us.
Well then, ain't this the most ironic time of year? Fa la 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 la, yeah.
Well, don't feel too bad, because next time, I'll reveal my list for the best and worst of Season 9. Expect a lot of fireworks. And plenty of fire extinguishers to put out the flames from said fireworks. Until then, I hope everyone enjoys their holidays. From the both of us at the screening, we wish you a very Merry Hearthwarming.